What is the real difference between domesticated goats and wild goats? And how did one animal adapt to farms while the other survived untouched in nature? At first glance, all goats may look similar, but the gap between wild goats and domesticated goats is wider than most people realize. This goat comparison reveals how environment, behavior, and evolution shape two very different lifestyles from the same ancient roots. Wild goats are descendants of ancient goat species that evolved to survive without human help. These wild goat species live in mountains, deserts, cliffs, and remote regions where survival depends entirely on instinct. Domesticated goats, on the other hand, have lived alongside humans for thousands of years. Through selective breeding, humans shaped goat breeds to meet specific needs like milk production, meat, fiber, and companionship. One of the biggest differences between domestic versus wild goats is behavior. Wild goats are naturally cautious and alert. They rely on sharp instincts to detect predators and escape danger. Every movement matters in the wild, where mistakes can be fatal. Domesticated goats are generally calmer and more social with humans. Living on farms has reduced the need for constant vigilance, allowing domesticated goats to develop trust and familiarity with people. Physical differences are also easy to spot once you know what to look for. Wild goats often have leaner bodies, stronger muscles, and longer legs designed for climbing and endurance. Their hooves and joints are built for rough terrain. Domesticated goats vary widely depending on breed. Some goat breeds are compact and stocky, while others are larger and heavier, optimized for milk or meat rather than survival in extreme environments. Horns tell another story in the goat comparison. Wild goats usually have larger, thicker, and more dramatic horns. These horns play a critical role in defense and dominance in the wild. Domesticated goats may have smaller horns or none at all, depending on breeding and farm management. In many farm settings, horns are removed early for safety, something that would never happen in wild goat populations. Diet is another key difference between domesticated goats and wild goats. Wild goats eat what nature provides. Their diet includes shrubs, leaves, bark, herbs, and tough plants that grow in harsh environments. They constantly adapt their feeding habits to seasonal changes. Domesticated goats rely on humans for consistent food sources. Feeding schedules, hay, grains, and formulated feeds replace the unpredictability of the wild, ensuring stable nutrition. Reproduction and lifespan also differ between domestic versus wild goats. Wild goats tend to have lower survival rates due to predators, disease, and environmental challenges. Domesticated goats benefit from veterinary care, shelter, and protection, often living longer and healthier lives. Human involvement dramatically changes the risks goats face, shifting survival from instinct to contrast. Wild goats live in herds that follow strict natural hierarchies. Leadership is often determined by strength, age, and horn size. These structures help maintain order in dangerous environments. Domesticated goats still form social hierarchies, but conflicts are less intense because food and space are usually abundant on farms. One of the most important differences lies in adaptability. Wild goats adapt genetically over long periods of time, evolving traits that help them survive specific environments. Domesticated goats adapt behaviorally, responding to training, routines, and human interaction. This flexibility is why goats became one of the earliest domesticated animals in human history. Despite these differences, domesticated goats and wild goats share many traits. Both are intelligent, curious, and highly adaptable animals. Both rely on strong social bonds and communication. The difference is not intelligence or ability, but the world they are designed to survive in. Understanding the difference between wild goats and domesticated goats helps us appreciate how powerful evolution and human influence can be. One path led to survival in extreme landscapes. The other led to partnership with humans across farms and cultures worldwide. So when you see a goat on a farm or a wild goat balancing on a cliff, remember that they share the same ancient origins shaped by very different journeys. Domestic versus wild goats is not about better or worse. It's about adaptation. If you enjoyed this goat comparison and want more animal and wildlife facts, make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below with the next topic you want us to explore.